This is the Chile Line Media Podcast.
Yes, it is.
You guys watched Chile Line Mania.
It's awesome.
I thought, that was cool. Let's do something that's not that. I planned nothing. I have nothing going on. I literally have no plans.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No, he's not serious. Show us the game.
Okay. We're doing a bracket, boys.
Oh.
We're doing a bracket.
I
We're
love
doing
this.
Chile Line Media's best movie of all time bracket. I'm calling it Chile Line Ranks Media.
Let's go, dude.
Chili Line Ranks Media.
Now we have a list here, and I'll put it up on screen for the our viewers to see, but you guys can see it in front of you, of the 16 best movies according to Chile Line Media. And you might be sitting there thinking, Boomer, how do you determine what Chile Line Media thinks are the best movies? I went on to each one of our Letterboxds and went through everything we ranked 5 stars, 4.5 stars, and 4 stars, and totaled up those numbers and put the top scoring movies in here.
Damn, this is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
You did some work.
You did.
I was putting in the work. I also, you'll notice, threw in a couple underdogs, little wild card picks.
Sure.
For the number 1 seed, we have Good Will Hunting
Damn, that's surprising.
versus Return of the Jedi. Those are the 2 movies. But Good Will Hunting, directed by Gus Van Sant,
Sant.
scored 30 points. This is the only movie on our list that scored the full 30 points.
Damn.
Really?
Yeah.
So we all gave it 5 stars.
We all gave it 5 stars. This is the only movie that all of us gave 5 stars.
Okay.
And I will admit, partially my fault. Only 2 things I have ranked 5 stars are the Adventure Time TV show and Good Will Hunting. So, I will say I'm a little harsher on reviews. I think you guys are probably a little more honest with how you feel about things. I refuse to give things 5 stars. So,
Except for the Adventure Time TV show?
it's
Nah.
really good. Adventure Time
You're a
is
monster.
really
Adventure Time is, I would give it,
I'm not hating
I
on
would go
it,
4.5.
but
'Cause Rick and Morty is
those
5.
being your only 2 is crazy.
I'm sorry. So, what do you guys think of Good Will Hunting versus The Return of the Jedi? Which Return of the Jedi, everybody knows, is directed by who, Dylan?
George Lucas.
You're wrong. That's called a bait and switch.
They're so different. Boomer or Dylan, you take it off. I'll let you go first.
So, Return of the Jedi has some obvious... It's got some power here.
It does.
It's Star Wars. It's, the third one. Like, the culmination of the OG trilogy.
Sure.
I think I still have to give this to Good Will Hunting. I think it's a better movie, like story encapsulated in one movie. I think Return of the Jedi is good to great, but only in the context of the 2 that came before it.
It's also a bigger cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
Than
But
Good
it's
Will
so
Hunting.
tough to compare because like Return of the Jedi is a massive, tens of $1 million budget movie. The world is so much bigger compared to Good Will Hunting, which is more of an indie. It was the breakout film for Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
Right. And there's something to be said about the impact that's had on film. It's their breakout role.
Robin Williams, man. I'm gonna agree with Dylan though. I'm gonna go with Good Will Hunting.
I think we're a 3 for 3 here, Good Will Hunting, because Return of the Jedi, not even the best of the trilogy.
It isn't.
Who knows how it made it on this list? Maybe Boomer made a mistake and it ended up on here, but it gets absolutely whooped. Next lineup, we'll go down to the bottom of the bracket where you see Gladiator versus Princess Mononoke.
That's a tough draw for Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, that's brutal for our boy Hayao.
See, I'm gonna have to disagree with you guys here.
I
Gladiator's
also haven't
cool.
seen Princess Mononoke. I don't know how that made that on here.
Oh. Well, I just sort of guessed. Okay, so actually, here's what I did. At the end, I was tired of looking through all the numbers, and I
Sure.
had 4 slots left, and so I chose 4 wild cards, and 3 of those wild cards were an animated movie that each one of us ranked. At our you guys did 5 stars, for me 4.5 stars.
Okay.
Princess Mononoke, I gave that 5 stars.
No,
No.
it was just one from each of us who have
Gotcha.
So like
One of us
yeah.
ranked it highly.
Yeah,
One of us
one of
ranked
us
it
ranked
higher.
each one of these animated films in this part
Okay.
of the bracket high.
Because is Princess Mononoke, let me see the cover of the film. I don't
The
remember.
one with the little girl and the dog.
Yeah, I've
giant
seen it.
And it's all
thing.
about it's all about the like industry versus like the nature in the wild.
I've seen it.
And she's a crazy wild lady.
The issue is the devil's lettuce made me pass out. So I
Heard.
don't remember the film very well.
Heard. Okay.
Even if I had seen the film Gladiator, it's Gladiator.
I mean, yeah.
It's an epic. Like, there's only so many of those films that get made, and it's just, it's one of the biggest films, like, in terms of production. Like, the amount of people, the set pieces, not alone, I mean, the talent, you know, Russell Crowe and Joaquin Phoenix.
Entertained?
You know, it's
Sure.
insane. It's a disservice to Princess Mononoke to be up against the Gladiator.
Princess Mononoke is getting first rounded here.
It is.
But, like, probably a good movie. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I like the other Ghibli movies I've seen.
Okay. I disagree. I think Princess Mononoke should move on, but you guys win. It's 2-1. Gladiator moves on to the second round. Shame on you, Dylan. Shame. And Dylan, if I could utilize your brain here, could you keep track of all these for me?
Sure.
Cool. So our next matchup is going to be Kill Bill Volume 1 versus Ratatouille.
These poor animated films, man. They're getting.
Was this mine?
Ratatouille was Dylan's pick. Ratatouille. You had quite a few. You had a couple animated movies. Actually, I don't know if you had any in 5-star, but you had quite a bit in 4.5-star.
Sure.
And I just chose my favorite of that bunch, which was Ratatouille. And I think you dropped a like on Ratatouille, which is something you rarely do on your Letterboxd.
I just rate the movie. I don't need to like or not like it.
Well, that
I
was
feel
the
like.
tiebreaker consideration for these, was number of likes. If it was the same amount of points, it was number of likes.
All right. So, Kill Bill Volume 1.
Kill Bill Volume 1 versus Ratatouille.
It's a tough look for Ratatouille because Kill Bill Volume 1 is
Yeah.
like...
Yeah. Let's see what did we score?
Give
Kill
us the
Bill
cover
Volume 1?
here. 999.
This was a 999 for us, 27 points, directed by Quentin Tarantino, of course.
The
we
man
have-
himself.
Uma Thurman on the cover of Kill Bill Volume 1.
Can I tell you my Uma Thurman story?
Please.
Holy shit! I shared a bathtub with Uma Thurman. That's my claim. Well, not a bathtub, but
Bathtub with Uma Thurman. That's the title.
yeah,
Slurp
that's
up
the
the
title.
water like you saltburn.
Dude, it was crazy.
Okay,
It was
all
so
right,
cool. And
sorry.
she was nice. I didn't talk to her because I didn't want to bug her or anything. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I looked a few times at Peak, like,
Right.
you know.
I would have been
but, hey, Uma,
like, no words.
making me uncomfortable over here.
Ratatouille's so good.
Yeah.
But Kill Bill is like more impactful for film. I think it was harder to pull off because it was practical.
Yeah, I understand that.
But Ratatouille's like top tier kids movie in my opinion.
And the message in Ratatouille is strong.
Anyone
Anyone can cook. And that, honestly, I think we
Applies to
have
everything.
shows like The Chef now because of Ratatouille.
Hey, Uma.
Next up, Fight Club versus the SpongeBob SquarePants. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie? I think that's what it's
The
called.
original. The one from like 2004
Yeah, that's a
or
good
somewhere
one.
in there.
David Hasselhoff? Come on now.
Goofy Goober, man.
This was Makayo's animated pick. This
yeah.
is the only animated movie he ranked 5 stars.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. It's on my probably top 20 film list.
Wow.
That's
He's just SpongeBob's the great.
Top
In my
20.
opinion, SpongeBob is the greatest cartoon animation ever. Ever. It's so impactful for my youth. You know,
Speak your
my
truth.
kid psyche. I will speak my truth.
Yeah.
I am a goofy goober.
And I am a goofy goober. So you know.
It tackles some hard issues, you know, the transition from boyhood to manhood.
Yep, 100%.
That's tough. The weight and responsibility of having people you love rely on you.
Yep. These are excellent themes that are presented in this film. Like,
yeah, the trials and tribulations of being a goofy goober.
yeah,
It's hard.
tough.
It's hard
It's a
out here
hard
for
life.
us goofy goobers.
And look at that freaking cover, dude.
Yeah.
All the our usual suspect characters.
Like,
My
Just-
leg. That guy
just
even
like-
makes it in there, you
that
know.
guy does make it in there.
But it's Fight Club, man. Like,
Yeah. I don't have the poster for Fight Club, but he's holding the soap.
yeah, Fight Club for me. I mean, and I just wax poetic about SpongeBob movie, and I'm still gonna say Fight Club.
Yeah, and I don't.
Yeah, like SpongeBob movie, great. I loved it as a child. I've seen it many times.
Yeah.
Like multiples more times than I've seen Fight Club.
Ooh.
Fight Club's the winner here.
It is undoubtedly.
Yeah, and I don't think we even need to talk about it.
Nope. Moving on.
We're not allowed to.
Cool. Next up, we have The Empire Strikes Back versus No Time to Die. No Time to Die actually surprisingly squeezing out a really high ranking here.
I loved that movie.
I like that movie. a
Dylan
lot,
loves
too.
James Bond. If he could be any
This was
figure,
highly
I
rated
think
for you
he'd
too,
probably
Kyle.
pick. It was, of course. I love James Bond, and it's my favorite James Bond film.
Yeah, I took our rankings, but I'm pretty sure you had it at 4.5 stars.
Yeah, I have my pick, Dylan. If you want to give some input.
Over The Empire Strikes Back, I might actually take No Time to Die here.
Wow.
Wow.
I think that James Bond is important enough to me, and that movie was good enough. It's like the culmination, because you have to take into account the other Star Wars movies, given that they're both series.
Sure.
I think that one being like Daniel Craig's this James Bond
Opus.
disappears.
Yeah.
I liked No Time to Die better. I'm not afraid to say it. I
Well-
think The Empire Strikes Back is a very good movie. And I'm sure the both of you are going to disagree with me here.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was gonna go.
But
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, it's
that I will stand on this hill that I like No Time to Die better.
It's close. I will say it's close.
Yeah.
But what gives me the edge for The Empire Strikes Back is obviously my bias, but the series. I prefer the Star Wars series over James Bond. James Bond's freaking cool, man.
totally Daniel
Loved
Craig
it.
crushes it.
Daniel Craig. You know what's tough? I haven't seen the original James Bond films with like Sean Connery and stuff. So
and Broadman, Pierce
Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
So it's tough to say, like in terms of comparison of the franchises, depending on who plays James Bond. But I'm gonna go Empire Strikes Back.
Those are cool. The old James Bond movies are cool.
Classics.
It's classics. It's like watching Star Trek to me, where it's like, oh, I can see how this like was really cool in its day.
Sure.
But something that was coming out around the same time that still looks great and still holds its own is The Empire Strikes Back.
Yep. Just watched it recently, actually.
And the unexpected twist of the Empire winning in that movie was crazy. Like, to do something like that in that time was unheard of.
Sure.
And the characters of Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, Leia, Han, and then you get the cool Riz of Lando, dude. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget
Cool
about it.
Riz. Why is it Spaceballs on this list?
I have an admission. I've never seen Spaceballs.
Oh, man.
I was
That's-
against it as a child because I didn't like the idea of anything parodying my sweet, sweet boy of Star Wars. And I
You
was
need to see that movie.
It's a good one,
It's
man.
comedy.
It's one
and
of my
that holds up too.
Favorite spoofs, or what do you call
Dark Helmet.
Spoof,
Dark
I think.
Helmet.
Yeah, parody.
them? Parody.
Okay, well, The Empire Strikes Back wins. Sorry, Dylan, and sorry, No Time to Die. Get fucked. Alright, we have Interstellar versus The Social Network.
That's a tough one, dude.
I think this is probably one of our toughest matchups yet. Because Interstellar, obviously Christopher Nolan's space epic, and it was epic.
Super epic. This one of my favorite scores
The
of all time.
Hans Zimmer went hard.
it was
Good.
the score was great. The storytelling, the relationship between father and daughter, and
It's all about love, man.
and how love is the seventh dimension or whatever he was trying to tell us, with time being in there and also gravity. I watched. The surprise of Matt Damon, right? Like,
Sure.
You see him on the poster, or you see him on the, they do the memorial for the astronauts they sent off, and then to actually see him on his planet was nuts.
Yeah, Matt Damon in that film, you're a dick ass.
I'm a dick ass?
Matt Damon
He is
a dick ass. Dick ass?
Yeah. Dick. Ass.
And we're back. Yeah, I think Interstellar's a masterpiece, but The Social Network is real.
And true.
I think Aaron Sorkin's script for The Social Network is like unparalleled in cinema.
True.
And he had great source material because Zuck was kind of a dickhead at the time,
Yeah.
Sure.
and he's super based now. But back then he was like that weird nerdy kid that everyone hated, but he was so rich he couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And he really did steal the idea from those guys.
But like those guys also kind of deserved it.
The
That's
Winklevoss
Yeah.
twins.
This is another one. I may get some hate here. I'm taking The Social Network.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
And I have to tell you, it's because the editing of the opening sequence is like you could teach an entire class on
Just
like,
that.
just the first 7 minutes and 30 seconds or whatever it is until she leaves the bar. The editing is so impactful in that scene, and the way they did it, it's like 90 takes with 5 cameras because they weren't doing it fast enough.
Yeah.
And
match
they were
his
like
pacing.
on a timer.
Damn.
Yeah. What's his name? The director?
David Fincher.
Known for that, right? Known for his we're doing it again.
Yeah.
And
He'll run it up with the takes.
which is to me sounds like a nightmare to be filming that, but it gets results. The
But
Social
then
Network.
that came out of it. And it's like, okay, maybe he has a point.
There's a method to his madness. I've seen The Social Network twice. The last time I saw it, more than 5 years ago, so I need to rewatch it. But Interstellar is a top 5 film for me. I love space films. I love space epics.
me too.
A dream is to make a space epic at some point. And it's all condensed into one film. You know what I mean? Like, not every space epic has to be a Dune or a Star Wars or a Star Trek.
True, it's grounded. It's
Grounded.
a grounded space epic.
Front to back.
It's weird to say because they go through a wormhole, but
And yeah, I'm gonna go Interstellar. Not that I have anything against Social Network. That's just my personal taste. And I also haven't seen The Social Network as recently as I should have to give a more honest opinion.
okay, so we have the Social
1-1,
Network,
tiebreaker.
Interstellar. I get to break the tie.
Yeah,
You do.
you
This is hard for me because you have my 2 favorite things going up against each other: space.
Me and Mikhail.
That's what I was.
Oh, well,
That's where I went.
definitely not that. No, I'm just kidding. I love you guys. Space and quirky white boys. That's hard.
Real.
That's a hard
That's
battle.
real.
Yeah.
Because The Social Network is the quirky white boy power show. You have Justin Timberlake.
Jesse Eisenberg.
It's
Jesse
the Wolf of
Eisenberg.
Wall Street for quirked up white boys.
That is the quirky white boy
That's what I'm
quintessential
saying.
film.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Oh man.
So I think, man, as much as I love my quirked up boys, I'm gonna have to go with Interstellar. I'm sorry.
That's fair. No,
It is one of my favorite
That's a
movies.
close one.
We're about to have the most film bro round 2. Next up, we have Dune Part 2 versus Pulp Fiction. Another tough matchup, boys.
Yeah,
Not really.
Not really. Not really. And I love Pulp Fiction. I mean, you can see
Wow.
the poster. I got a poster of Pulp Fiction up here. Dune Part 2.
This guy's mad. Uma Thurman has a Pulp Fiction poster.
I don't think there's
get it.
I don't think there's a ton to say here. Pulp Fiction's a great movie. Tarantino,
Might be
it's-
his best.
It's the reason he got so big. Dune 2 is a better movie.
What I was saying
get that.
earlier about epics, massive epics, the only films on here that are that way, in my opinion, are Gladiator and Dune Part 2. They're in the same category.
Sure.
You can't, I'm going to weigh those stronger than other films a lot of the time, and that's why Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
Just to pull that off. It's once every 10 years those films come around. You know?
Yeah,
So-
I walked out of the theater and I think I said to one of you, this is our Empire Strikes Back?
Yes.
Or this is our New Hope, I think I said.
Yes.
And so for that reason alone, I have to say Dune Part 2 wins it.
Okay.
Now for our final matchup of round 1, we have The Dark Knight versus Wall-E.
God, these.
I'm surprised you don't have a Dark Knight poster.
Dude, I should. I totally
You have
should.
space.
Maybe there, or maybe that one over there, that little wall.
Those are all great ideas. I'm voting for Wall-E.
You would.
You would. Oh man, I love Wall-E too. Wall-E might be my favorite animated film, but The Dark Knight is arguably my favorite film of all time. Dark Knight.
Okay, Dylan. Hold on here, because I don't want Wall-E to not get the respect it deserves here. Because
All right, let's hear it. I could be convinced.
Wall-E is at its heart a rom-com, right? That's what it really is.
He's pulling on my.
It's-
He's pulling on his
he's pushing
heartstrings.
my buttons right now.
It's these two robots
Dylan loves rom-coms.
who,
Fun fact.
in a world where humanity has been reduced to its ugliest parts,
Sure.
finds the most beautiful part for humanity again, which is love and connection and human connection. These two robots teach humans connection. And how do they do it? Do they do it by saying by waxing poetic about each other and telling us how they feel? No, those two don't speak. They say very little words and they show us what love is. And they showed the big chubby humans what love is. And I think that is worth a little bit more.
I want to
Then
know what love is.
It's also a reconnection to nature. You know.
Yeah, and I think Heath
I
Ledger
love
would vote for Wall-E.
Heath Ledger votes for Wall-E.
I think Heath Ledger would vote for Wall-E.
I hear you, and I'm glad you were able to make your case.
Come on, man.
It's not close.
It's Heath Ledger. R.I.P. That is maybe the single best character performance I've ever seen.
Uh-huh.
Like, I believed him. I was like, that dude's crazy. He really is a guy in clown makeup just wanting to watch the world burn.
Well-
It's about sending a message.
And
also-
Oh, go ahead.
Where is she?
Where is she?
Where is she?
Where's Rachel? Sorry, that was a terrible impression.
Yeah, we're both not on the mark there.
No.
We'll get there.
One day.
I was about to do Bane. I don't know why.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
he's not rising yet.
He's not rising. Dude, not only does he play this awesome villain, but as villains go, like the reasoning for his sort of insanity is something that audiences can also understand and empathize with. Like, some men just want to watch the world burn, and those figures exist. And like, he embodies that. It makes sense. You're like, oh, like think about like I don't know. Maybe Thanos isn't a great example because some of us
From
like,
Fortnite?
From Fortnite. You know, but a lot of villains, like especially in Marvel movies, they have like one end goal, and it's like, okay, I understand why you feel that way, but like his character, his ethos makes you think. Like, it's like
He gets some credit for having a point.
for having a point. You know,
Like, there is something to his argument.
yes.
No way. No way.
Yes.
Are you saying The Dark Knight's better because the Joker was right?
No,
That's
but-
crazy.
that the Joker was right. I'm not saying the Joker was right.
I'm saying Thanos was
But
right.
it's a more
I got
complete
lost.
character. It's a more Dude, this is tough.
We're back for round 2. Good Will Hunting versus The Dark Knight.
This is where it starts to get tough.
I think that
Yeah.
this one is not that tough for me.
Okay?
I think I'm going the Dark Knight here.
Okay.
I know that's pretty film bro-y.
It's also a huge upset. Well, it's not a huge upset.
Not a
It's the
huge
2 versus
upset.
the 1,
But we all ranked Good Will Hunting 5 stars because it's a great movie. Robin Williams, all the things
Yeah.
we've said about it. Matt Damon.
Dick ass.
I think The Dark Knight is a more entertaining movie that still has a message. Like, I would rather watch The Dark Knight than Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, I would say in terms of story beats, story arc, story structure, story like strength, they're
Yeah.
equal, right? Like, it's hard to compare them, but like they're of
Yeah.
that caliber. But The Dark Knight not only does that, but then elevates the world. So, like, you know, with a lot of smaller indies, you have great stories, but you can't get that big because they're limited by budget, right? But that's why Christopher Nolan's so successful, is because he has these stories that are incredibly strong, but then also elevates the world around it. So it's bigger, it's more epic, it's freaking cool. Like, it's a cool movie. It's badass. You know, so I'm gonna go with Dark Knight.
They're definitely hard
hold
to
on.
compare.
Keep your hand on the chess piece there, Mikhail, because before it's a 2-2 sweep, 2-1 sweep here,
Okay,
I want you to hear my argument.
go for it.
The way Matt Damon's character completely owned that Harvard prick, dude.
That does feel good.
Like, come on. What's more badass than that? What's more badass than this guy who's really good at math, who works construction?
Guy in a bat suit.
A guy in a bat suit jumping 10 stories down and crushing the getaway vehicle with his body weight.
But, yeah, okay, that's cool. But
With
what's
the
more
bat.
badass?
Freaking form.
Sure, that's cool, right? The bat flies, whatever.
Feels like you're grasping at
There's
straws.
an RPG, hit me. You know, I remember all that. But what's more cool than having this realized potential in yourself, but giving it all up for a baddie, bro? And that's what he did.
That's what he did.
And that's
I understand.
it's pretty badass.
It's relatable.
Bro. Because also, like, she was gonna be a doctor, so like he said, but like,
It sounds like you.
Hey.
that's my argument.
You're wicked smart.
You're wicked smart.
How was Whiplash not on this list?
That surprises me. It's probably like maybe 17 or 18 if we opened it up bigger, you know?
Whiplash is definitely supposed to be on this list.
Yeah.
That was a minor snafu. Cool. So
Dune 2
The Dark
Interstellar.
Knight wins. Dune 2 versus Interstellar. It's the two space epics, man. But I personally have to say that Dune 2 wins because Interstellar's cool. It's a cool story. It's a little more grounded. But I don't know, dude. Look at Dune. We were just watching Dune, and this is what I was worried it was gonna skew it because I just watched a scene of Dune and holy balls, dude.
Holy cow.
It's really good.
Yeah, Dune Part 2.
Yeah, I mean, like, Interstellar, great movie.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I didn't finish that movie and go, holy shit, dude, that was awesome.
That was insane.
The way I did with Dune 2, and then I went and saw it the next night, and then like two
Not
nights
after that.
later, and then like a
Not
week
after that.
later, and then I saw it again, and then I've watched it since it came out on streaming. Because every time I watch it, I'm like, this is incredible.
But Dune Part 2 didn't make me cry. Interstellar
Fair.
made me cry. That's hard to do. I'm a pretty tough guy.
It's true.
Yeah, Interstellar did make me cry too. It made me certainly well up. I don't know if I was boomer, you know, but
During the McConaughey video scene.
dude.
Or him seeing his daughter after all those years.
Yeah, it still makes me tear up.
Yeah.
You know, I could just watch that scene and cry. I don't see the rest of the movie. You know,
But yeah, Dune Part 2 probably wins.
Dune Part 2 wins.
And maybe our ideas will change in September when we go and watch Interstellar in theaters.
Sure.
The
Go to your
re-release?
local theaters and watch Interstellar.
10-year
re-release.
anniversary IMAX re-release.
But yeah, Dune Part 2 wins this one, making it to the semifinals.
It still makes me tear up.
Next up, we have The Empire Strikes Back versus Fight Club. After Fight Club upset the SpongeBob movie.
Mikhail, what do you have to say for yourself?
Their impacts on society are like equally relevant, but Fight Club to me is a smarter film. And I don't want to talk much about it, obviously, for obvious reasons, but I'm going to go with Fight Club.
We almost had his ass.
We almost
I'm
fucking
going to go with
got
Fight
him.
Club.
Yeah, okay. I disagree.
Okay.
I get that Fight Club's smart. I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb, but I think you get more out of an experience like The Empire Strikes Back than you do watching Fight Club. I think you
It's
get
more of an experience, certainly.
it is more the idea to me of a movie.
It's also a broader audience. Like, everybody can watch The Empire Strikes Back. Not everybody can watch Fight Club,
Yeah, that's true.
you know.
And yeah, for that reason and lightsabers, I'm gonna have to go with The Empire Strikes Back.
Tiebreaker.
Fight Club was so, like, important for that moment in like the late 90s, early 2000s
Yeah.
of like, my job sucks, I'm gonna do stuff outside of this. And also, Brad Pitt.
True.
That's peak.
true. And
But I'm going Empire Strikes Back, lightsabers.
All right,
let's
there we
go.
go.
Empire
Okay,
Strikes
I'm not
Back.
mad about that.
Lightsabers. What else is there?
That's such a good argument. And the Force, dude.
The Force.
May it be with you. Our final matchup of round 2.
Kill Bill versus Gladiator.
Cool guy with sword, cool girl with sword.
I have to rank Gladiator higher. That was more influential on me as like a young lad.
Wow.
Russell Crowe's Are You Not Entertained? This is my Roman Empire.
You're silly.
Yeah, I'm hyped for Gladiator 2. I hope it's good. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, me too.
I'm
It's
taking Gladiator
shaping
here.
up to be good, I will say. No, you know what? I'll go.
You go.
And I'm gonna again be the contrarian here and go with Kill Bill Volume 1 because
God damn it.
I just I think that there's something magical about that movie. The color, the choices that Quentin Tarantino makes.
Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman, Lucy Liu.
Shared bathtub.
What's his? You know,
Hot spring.
Hot Spring, Makayo.
Samurai, not
Staring
samurai. Well, samurai fight sequence.
Sure,
Pretty badass.
sure. The Crazy 88.
Yeah.
The girl with the Morning Star.
True. She could
The blood.
crush me with that.
The scene where she walks into the sushi restaurant and it's a whole little bait and switch. You're like, what's going on here? We're like, what? There's definitely something going on here. Why is she talking to this sushi chef? Turns out, it's a Musashi sword.
Hattori Hanzo?
That's what I said. You can play the tape. That's what I said.
Hattori Hanzo?
Go ahead, Mikhail. What do you think?
Ah, man.
You pawned a Hattori Hanzo sword for $300?
I will say that's volume 2.
Sorry.
That's volume 2.
Keep your
There is
facts
something.
straight.
There is something to be
Man,
said.
I don't even know
It's
what to
half a
say.
story.
Like,
It's half a story.
I've given my points for each. They're so close. But once again, the rarity of those kinds of epics.
Do you want to know where you ranked them?
Yeah, let's see.
Where did you rank them?
This might help. Why isn't The Revenant on here either? I know it's
We'll
one of
get
mine.
to that. We'll get to that. You shut your little mouth, okay? You're cute.
What is this formatting?
This is what I was freaking out earlier.
Chile Line Media has a Canva Pro account, Boomer. Makes it way easier.
Do you wanna do all the podcast
Sponsored by
pre-production?
Canva.
You guys want to get on that?
I don't.
Sponsored by Canva and Letterboxd. Use code Makayo sucks.
So 27. I gave it a 9, which would have been a
gave it a
4.5 probably.
And let's
Yes.
hope. What's the other movie we're looking for? Gladiator.
Gladiator, it's right there.
Also,
Also a 9.
Also
Man,
Boomer gave it an 8 because he's dumb.
it's because I'm not gonna go there. Never mind.
Okay. It's because I like women more than you. I think that's what it comes down to.
Yep, I think that's
I
what
like
it is.
women more than both of you.
Okay. Here's how I'm gonna break it.
And I would, yeah, never mind.
Who would win in a fight between the two?
Uma Thurman, not even close. You're talking two different. I don't know.
I mean, she's a freaking assassin. He's an epic warrior. You know, different skill sets. Obviously, okay. Look,
He was
it's
never-
Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
He's got 40 pounds on her. I get it. You know, man versus woman in a fight, sort of commentate or discussion. I think Uma Thurman's character, she's so badass. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna go Gladiator.
Oh,
I'm gonna go Gladiator.
the bait and
Let's
switch.
go.
Bait and switch.
I don't want to play this anymore. that was such an upset. Such an upset.
She does kill like all the most badass
Crazy.
assassins.
She kills the crazy 88 dude. 88v1, and then she kills the best swords.
Man, you know that's good. It's just a good point. I don't know if Russell Crowe could do that.
I don't think he was a leader. Don't get me wrong. A
Are we
fantastic.
debating characters or movies?
He's picking in the way he wants to pick.
I'm just reminding him of the premise.
Okay, Gladiator. We're in Gladiator.
Dude.
Just by a smidge.
Wow.
By a little
Just so you
smidge.
guys know, Quentin Tarantino has been eliminated from this tournament.
Well, he's got 3 movies in the top 16, so.
And none of them made it, so that's what y'all think. He has 3 movies?
No,
Yeah,
2.
there's only 2 up
There's
there.
2, sorry.
All right, yeah, watch yourself, pal.
Just by a smidge.
See if
Game
they-
1 of the semifinals in the northern bracket, we have Dune Part 2 versus The Dark Knight.
Dude, that's brutal.
Maybe for you.
Can I go first?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Dark Knight.
you would.
Wow. And
I am.
Give me a one sentence reason.
One sentence reason.
The goal was so it would be quicker, but
Yeah, this is it makes it harder on me actually.
just start word vomit. One sentence. Why The Dark Knight's better.
The Dark Knight, like aesthetically, they're both aesthetically, Dune's probably just a little bit of a notch above.
Yeah.
It's more complex, but I'm gonna go based on talent and character performance. And Heath Ledger's performance smashes any performance in Dune.
Wow.
This is well, okay, yeah.
Wow.
And
I was gonna be upset about that, but
Wow.
And it's real and it's true.
Well
what do
said.
you think, Boomer?
I'm still pondering. I think I'll defer to you, Dylan.
I'm a Dune 2 evangelist at this
That's
point.
a great word.
That's topical.
I'll just every part of Dune 2, I was like, great.
No way. Holy smokes. That's how I feel about Dark Knight.
Every section of the production and the post-production, like every part of it, I thought was great.
yeah.
I think all the actors most of the actors were well cast and gave great performances. Austin Butler,
True.
Yep. I mean,
I-
that's
you
a good
know,
point, Dylan.
there's I could talk about Dune 2 forever, I think.
Yeah. They're both 5-star caliber, like perfect. They're perfect films.
Yeah, and that does
Like-
make this hard because The Dark Knight's so good.
This is the definitive list, guys. This is why we're doing it.
This is why we're
It's the
doing
one
it.
and only time we'll ever be able to rank these movies.
Yeah.
Well,
We have to get it right.
yeah. I mean, this is the only time we'll rank these movies this way. That's
Sure.
And this is your definitive answer. All 3 of us are agreeing on this at the end. Dark Knight, Dune Part 2.
Boomer break tie break.
Oh, that's so hard, guys.
Dude,
I
it's
gotta
hard.
be honest. I'm looking at while you guys were chatting, waxing, waning. I was thinking, looking at this list and thinking this is ridiculous, man. We have The Dark Knight, Dune Part 2, Fight Club, and The Gladiator, dude. None of these are my favorite movie. The one that I got to give it to right now.
What's your
against
favorite film?
This matchup. Man, this is hard. Because one is superheroes, and you know I love that. And one is Timothy Chalamet, and you know I love that.
Zendaya.
So true.
Michi.
Javier, Rebecca, Michi,
Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh.
Butler, Skarsgård. I can name more names than you guys.
Josh Brolin.
Dave Bautista.
Dude.
It's got to be Dune Part 2, man.
Damn. God freaking.
Gosh darn it, Boomer.
working
Stop
on
breaking stuff back there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I get it. I think I know where this is going to go to for the final round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dune Part 2 makes it into the finals. And now we have...
Empire Strikes Back, Gladiator.
Wow. I know right now that I'm picking Gladiator. You would have thought, but I'm picking Gladiator. Because I think that is probably a better movie.
Who are you and what did you do with Boomer?
Why?
Maximus Decimus Meridius will have his revenge in
That's-
this life or the next.
this life or the next.
Rome is cool. I
Rome
guess.
is cool.
The wheat scene is cool. So I guess so. It's Gladiator.
Hans Zimmer went crazy on Gladiator too. Just by the way.
Wow, is it going to be a Hans Zimmer finale?
Unless you pick The Empire Strikes Back, and so do I.
In terms of watchability, which film have I seen more? Obviously, Empire Strikes Back.
Certainly.
What would I watch more often? Empire Strikes Back. But I'm going to go with Gladiator.
Wow. Dylan, what is your useless vote?
My useless vote.
Yeah.
I think I'm going Gladiator.
It's a sweep.
Wow, Gladiator
sweep.
sweeps.
It's a sweep.
And before we get into our final matchup, I have some honorable mentions.
Okay. I love this.
All right.
Because I would be remiss if some movies were not mentioned here. Our honorable mentions: American Fiction, Black Swan, The Revenant, and I'll throw Whiplash because I messed up.
You haven't seen any of those?
I have an issue. I've started and not finished every single one of these.
You started American Fiction and didn't
Yeah,
finish it?
actually, Black Swan's a top 5 film for me. I was wondering why it wasn't up there.
I think I gave Black Swan like a 4.5.
I gave it a 5.
The Revenant, dude.
I know. I've seen some of it. I saw up to when he was getting carried through the mountains on the
Dude.
stretcher, and then I was like, I'm out.
You watched him get mauled by a bear and then didn't finish the movie?
That seemed like the point. to
Tom
me.
Hardy,
I watched that and I was like, oh, there's the movie.
freaking
It's over.
Leo, dude, in a
Fair.
face-off.
The opening battle sequence and then the bear. Like that seemed like the two.
Are they in Canada? Is it supposed to be Canada or
Probably.
is it supposed to be like Montana?
I think it's supposed to be America, but they filmed it in Canada.
Yeah, dude. It's so visceral. The Revenant gets like the harshness of that space in a way that I haven't seen in other films. I mean, maybe like, it's the Revenant in terms of, and it's a naturalist film. I love nature. I'm a nature boy. And
Our sensitive nature boy.
it's freaking awesome.
You know what? You know what my issue with it is? I wanted to look away more than I wanted to look.
Really?
I in your defense, I agree with that. Actually, The Revenant is like film.
That's not a
Somebody
casual-
made this for art. Like
Yes.
this is a movie that this guy had a vision and created to be specifically this. It's not meant to really be super entertaining,
No.
but he's gonna tell you a story and it's gonna be freaking cool.
I didn't finish it, so
American Fiction was my favorite film. Well, one of my favorite films from last year. Black Swan, Darren Aronofsky.
Black Swan is just such a good, like, it's such a perfect visual metaphor
Yes.
that he gets to do throughout the film.
He just tees it up and knocks it out of the park. Her pursuit of perfection and like the psychoses that has to come with that. I love films that are about the pursuit of perfection.
Whiplash.
Whiplash, another example.
Yeah.
That's another film that does that. You
totally.
He breaks up with his girlfriend almost immediately because he's like, I'm gonna be great.
I'm gonna be
and
great.
you're gonna detract from it, and I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
And then he becomes great.
And then he becomes
And
great.
Omni-Man was really mean.
Omni-Man was mean to him in that film.
It took me a second. It was like.
Are you rushing or are you dragging?
Also, J.K. Simmons. I don't know if this is a hot take, but J.K. Simmons might be one of the greatest actors
Ooh.
of all time.
I think there's argument.
I think there's an argument. I think it's of the full spectrum of greatest actors of all time. I think I would not agree.
He's
Well-
upper tier though.
He's certainly like top tier actor. I wouldn't even accept an argument that he's like top 10.
Really? Because his voice acting is also crazy.
That's the thing. He's got that voice.
You say that, but then you look at Whiplash and his face, dude. His face
His
makes
face
me.
and his voice reminds me of like the feeling I had with Coach Lovato.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It is totally that like
Just quiver in fear.
that coach feeling of like this guy scares me, even though like. You know he's not gonna do anything to actually like hurt you.
It'll
gonna
hurt you
hurt me
mentally
mentally.
and emotionally.
Yeah.
You've got to see American Fiction.
This one specifically is a greater part of I have trouble finishing things even if I'm having a great time. Just, I put it down
Poor
because
Keegan.
I don't I put things down and I don't want to pick it back up in the middle. Maybe it's cuz I have poor scheduling and planning that I couldn't plan myself to finish the movie. Couldn't make it. Didn't have the legs.
Didn't have legs.
So that brings us, after talking
To
about our
our-
honorable mentions, rest in peace, to our final round, Dune Part 2 versus Gladiator.
I mean, you know my answer. It's Dune Part 2. Denis Villeneuve hasn't missed in like 10 years, bro.
True.
Wow.
I
Profound.
got nothing more to say. Gladiator's absolutely top tier. Ridley Scott nailed it. That's like his peak era.
Sure.
Okay, yeah. Denis Villeneuve eats. Hans Zimmer eats. No crumbs. Greg Fraser eats. Shout out, Fraser.
Fraser.
Eats.
He's my cousin.
Not your cousin.
Not my cousin. I wish. That'd be really cool.
That would be cool.
They're very similar films in their
Yeah.
scope. I'm honestly surprised Gladiator's in our top 2. Not that I have anything against it. I wouldn't rate it as a top 10 film for me.
The bracket here is a little weird because all our top seeds were in the top side of this bracket.
It is a little funky.
Yeah, this is definitely not like an NCAA bracket.
Like, why is the 1 versus the 9 not the 16?
And why are the 1 and the 2 on the same top half?
So Gladiator had an easy run here.
It did. I mean, it's deserving. Like, of the films on the list, it's in the top half for sure.
It did also still beat Kill Bill and Empire.
It did. And it outlasted Fight Club as well.
I don't disagree with Dune 2 making it out of the top there.
No, Dune 2 part, that doesn't surprise me. As I was saying, they're similar types of films, epic, grand, talent across the board, the greatest directors ever, all the talent, people
Right.
below, Dune 2. Not only is it visually cool, it's orally cool, and then you have, it's just...
What do you mean by that?
Yeah. Oral.
It's got aura.
Or it's got aura.
Yeah,
It's got an aura that the Gladiator doesn't have.
I don't know, dude. If I was there, Timothée Chalamet's got me on Space Jihad 100%. We're getting after it.
We're getting after it.
And I saw it in theaters 5 times. It's a movie of our generation.
It is.
For at least us 3 lads. So
Certainly.
I gotta go Dune Part 2. That's it, sweet. Dune Part 2 takes it. Lisan al-Gaib.
Lisan al-Gaib.
It's iconic. And that concludes the first ever Chili Line Ranks Media.
Love it.
Dune Part 2 is a pretty good representation of...
We could
Chili Line
do
media.
comedy like genres.
It's media, right?
It's
we
media.
Could do music.
We could do music. Hell yeah.
We could do presidential candidates.
Anyways,
Yeah, we won't post that one.
we will post that one.
That brings us to a close. Thank you for watching Chili Line
Yes,
Media
thank
Podcast.
you so much.
Please,
Please?
if you're here, if you made it to the end, congratulations. Yay.
It's over.
It's over. You don't have to watch anymore, but what you do have to do is you have to like, you have to subscribe, and comment what you think we missed and what you would have chosen of our 16 greatest movies of all time. Thank you to Letterboxd.
Shout out Letterboxd.
Thank you to you gentlemen for joining me here today.
Thanks for setting this
Fun
up.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
Peace.
Chili Line Media.